It's a peace and quiet. I got that Mexican band that's boom 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 since 10 o'clock this morning. Holy hell. My head's ready to explode. I'm ready to explode. What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday to you. Hope everybody's having a good day. We're making our way down to get a cup of coffee here. Hope everybody's doing good. Please tap the like button if you're coming in. It's very appreciated. I wonder if they cleaned all these people out of this spot. Let's see. Let's see if they busted up the boys over here. I busted up your squatters. Let's see over there. Did they? It's still kind of messy inside. But I don't know if anybody's around. I don't know. They busted up the boys. Crazy world, Catherine. How are you? Can't say I didn't tell you it's coming. I could see it coming as clearly as that blue in the sky. And this is just a preview of coming attractions. A little light hors d'oeuvre. Nice to see you, Catherine. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday. We have beautiful weather. I'd like to declare that my allergies are over, in which case this year was an absolute total victory. Of course, I could be just before the wave's going to hit. I don't know. I got no idea. Hey, Judy, how are you? We'll talk about it. You know, my phone's been blowing up, my messages, my email. So for those of you who say people don't like to talk about this stuff, I defer you to that. People want to have it made sense what's going on. That's the simple truth. You can hide from it all you want, but that doesn't mean it's gonna go away. Even if you think that they're invaders, Vato, they have a cadre, they have a support network here. They have a multiplier effect. If it was just as simple as just rounding up people, you don't. You have people standing on principled grounds of what they believe and others that oppose that. We have a federalist versus state issue here. So, you know, there's a lot more at stake than just rounding up people. I bust up your boy. It's not that easy, South Valley. Not that easy. By a long shot. The days of simple solutions are long gone. I bust up your mule boy. Hello everybody, champ everybody. Sorry, I can't really see the screen. Accept my apologies, please. Okay, we're not having a meat setup over there tonight. Man, that's a brilliant place to set up a feeding operation, right when you get off that on-ramp. Talk about foot traffic galore. What's going on, everybody? I was going to have some sushi tonight, and then I ended up cooking the wrong rice. I cooked the basmati rice, so I guess I'm going to have that with a little bit of ham. I pulled out some ham to make some bean soup tomorrow. The ham bone and some other things, so I'll be doing that tomorrow while I'm cooking up the beans. Busting up your boy. Hello, kitty. Let me see if I got this right. I steal all your dope. I bust up your mule boy. And you bring me more dope? There's just one problem with that. This isn't dope. Boom. Classic, ladies and gentlemen, classic. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about today. I don't usually go into it on Sundays, but the roar of the crowd has been pretty intense today, so we have a situation. It's what we have. And now we're moving on to freeways and things. And yeah. So happy Sunday. We'll see if it spreads to other cities. It's a 50-50 on this one. It might take a little more maturation of the movement until it gets to a point where it becomes a simultaneous nationwide, where they start busting up your boys out there. Okay, still a lot of people self-deported here. What a beautiful day, 73 degrees. Yeah, how about me? I was going to have some sushi tonight, and I end up cooking the wrong kind of rice. You have to use sticky rice. You can't use basmati rice. That just ain't going to work. That stuff doesn't have any sticky properties whatsoever. It'd be nice with a little bit of ham tonight. Maybe I'll even cook up some peas for Amanda hug and kiss. Do 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 do. I'm about 20 minutes. I'll be listening. Okay. I guess somebody's father was getting coffee and got deported. Now that happened in New York. Well, I'm just saying, it's a 50-50. Yeah, it's going to become a mess. We got to talk about it today because it's all part and parcel of what I've been warning people about the last 2 years. You know, when you get an email from somebody that says, man, I really hate your guts for what you were talking about, but I can see everything that you were saying is absolutely coming true now for 2 years about precious metals, about civilization, the West. Yeah, it's not with a great deal of pride that I acknowledge that. It's just like, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's about what you could be looking at. Hey, Classic, how are you? So I'm not going to apologize to anybody. My days of apologizing are over. You know, people, oh, you cause it. You know, you make this. It's like, oh, shit. What, just because you think about some stuff and 2 and 2 still equals 4 instead of 5. I mean, boy, this is the worst light in the world. Hey, Gray. Well, there's also some people that don't know history, too. They don't they think today is unprecedented. It's not. You know, I would remind you some of the history of this nation when it came to dealing with issues that certain segments of the country didn't want to deal with. What's up, Jack Black? How you doing? Okay, there's the train. We're all riding. Everybody's happy. We're taking a picture. Ooh, it's such a pretty train. Okay, is this okay? Other people, boy, I'm lucky. I got one spot here? Jeez, I got one spot here. Your boy almost got shut out today. Right here. Objects are closer than they appear. We have to always use our mirrors. Good afternoon, JR. All right, let's see if we got a pole back here. I think we do got a pole. Let's see. We don't want to really smash it. We just want to tap it. Oh, boy. All right, here we go. The protester, wow, a friend of mine literally got the police live streaming. So let me say good afternoon to everybody. Welcome, shit, what's this thing right up now? Classic, Jack Black. We've got JR in here. Who else do we got? Tyro, Brandon, Kitty. We got Ronnie in here. Look, I'm just going to say, yeah, full moon on Wednesday. I'm just going to say, just as an initial starter, because somebody wrote me, oh, they've never called out federal troops to, when you have this kind of situation for backup. Now, they haven't been called. What I'm saying is, no, you're wrong. Does anybody remember the desegregation activities that took place in the 1950s and 60s? Right? The orders were out to integrate the schools in Alabama and Mississippi and Georgia. They refused. So they ended up having to send federal troops in and also give protection for Arkansas and some of the places for integrate. It's not unprecedented. Okay? Do you remember that, Catherine? Yes. So it's not unprecedented. People are like, oh, this never happened before. Of course it's happened before. Otherwise, the state militias of Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas said, no, we're not going to, we're not going to follow the court. We're not going to follow the Civil Rights Bill of 1964. Let's see. Yeah, so I remember that. I wasn't alive at that time, but I remember very distinctly doing a massive amount of work on it in history and political science and all that. So it's not unprecedented to see that. But the point is, when you see this today, and it shows a breakdown of civility between, like, the state of California and the United States federal government. And it's funny how fast it came down. It's funny how fast it devolved into money. That, Newsom says you shouldn't have sent it's just for a show or whatever. And Trump says he calls them new scum and all that. I've never in my life heard a president go after a governor like that, and even in the worst days of civil unrest and George Wallace and all that stuff. That's a bit concerning, but he said, you know what, we send $80 billion more than we get a year to Washington, so why don't we just withhold that? Watch that grandson made that. Oh yeah, hey Catherine, that's really cool. This is all part and parcel of the instability that is bubbled up within Western civilization now, and it's symptomatic of what's coming down the line. And somebody asked today, is it going to get worse than this? And trust and believe. Okay, this is like when they bring out the little hors d'oeuvre tray at the beginning of the dinner while you're still milling around and having a cocktail or two. They're bringing out the little hot dogs and the little Vienna sausages and all that. Okay. So it definitely is an issue with escalation here, because I imagine, see, somebody was in here earlier and they said just round them up and it's not that easy. It's not that easy. It seems easy in theory, but you have concentric rings of vested interest in this on the part of politicians. On the part of clergy and religious, on the part of social NGOs, non-governmental organizations that make a ton of money on this stuff. So it's not just the people, the ripple effect is dramatic. It's absolutely dramatic when you think about what's at stake here. And you have an area there with about 5 million people, and of which probably 1 million are illegal immigrants down there. Right? You can call them undocumented. I grew up in a different era. We just called them illegal aliens. I don't think in China, if I was to violate China's borders, they would call me an undocumented immigrant down there. I don't think so. I don't know. But we have nighttime coming on now, and under cover of dark, bad things are done, and now there's people hitting the freeways, and they understand that if they can block up the commerce and hold everything up, then it's a real situation. This is why places in Las Vegas have overflow holding areas, pens, for in case there's ever a riot downtown. They can open up this chain link area that we've seen before walking around. How you doing, Melody? And stuff a couple thousand people into that thing. So, you have President Trump on the one hand that thinks that this we're not going to let happen like it happened in 1992 with the riots and property being destroyed and stuff. We're not going to let it escalate to that point. But this is a different era now. This is a different society. This is a whole different generations that are out here now, and they have a different bone to pick. And yeah, I think this lead to a big escalation of things. If only this media denial would be a love fest. Well, picture doesn't lie. And when you see people down on Alameda down there and they're making their way, and I know the layout of LA very well, and they're making their way down on ramps onto freeways and all that, now you got a really, really serious problem. And what's serious about it is if it was just the state of California, they would probably just cordon off the area and let those people sit there until they got hungry and wanted to go to Jack in the Box or whatever. Or they needed their morning coffee. How you doing, Vincent? Hey, Lee. But now the federal government is going to, if they send troops in and the National Guard, they're going to be much more aggressive. Since the National Guard is federalized now, they're going to be much more aggressive about clearing activity. So it's probably going to be pretty ugly. And then summertime is the worst time. We have Juneteenth coming up. I guess this is Pride Month, and you have a lot of overlays. The month of June used to be a nice, sleepy, quiet month. My birthday was the highlight, and then all of a sudden, it became a crowded on the calendar. Brandon says they don't have jobs. They can run into the weekdays. My girlfriend used to cook for a celebrity of their circle. People told her, get out of the city and stock up food. That was the best advice. They're going to wipe the streets. Hey, Lewis. Oh, what's up, Vincent? How you doing? Saturated. No, I'm not saturated today. It's just I've got to address what people want to talk about today, and this is what they wanted to talk about. So we're talking about it. We're putting it in line with things like the rising price of gold and silver, rising interest rates. Quite basically, rising interest rates are a sign of rising risk. The more risky somebody is as a borrower, the higher interest rates you charge them. Like if you're a loan shark and Tommy the druggie comes up and I need to get a fix. Am I going to get paid back? I'm going to give you $100, but I'm charging you 50 points. It's 50% a week. Well, what the hell do you think rising interest rates signal in this nation? They signal growing risk. Don't forget about platinum. Bought on a dip a while back for 800. Yeah, it's an important one. Apparently, a recession is going to hit late this year. It's probably this one's not started off as a fiscal one, which is unusual. It started out as a policy recession, but fiscally, it's starting to catch up now with interest rates rising. By a policy one, it means we go in there and we bust up the tariff rules and we write new rules. And then that puts a huge ripple through commerce in the country where people don't know that are running corporations. Alcoa and U.S. Steel and Nucor Steel and Cleveland Cliffs, they're like, should we expand our ore operations, our mining operations for ore? I mean, the tariff might go down again next week, and then we've committed, and right? I keep it a red 520. How you doing, Alan Gentry? So it's made planning impossible. So what's happened is everybody's flying by the seat of their pants right now. And that's not a good way to do business. And China led the world into recession. And by all counts, they're really mired in a depression right now that's just slowly rippling through. And that's going to have a dramatic knock-on effect, just like the United States going into the depression in 1929 had a knock-on effect in England. And all of Western Germany gave rise to Hitler. So I just wanted to make that clear. Number one, we have had federal troops in states before. It's not unprecedented. So they just had a report from China just increased their gold purchasing again. They're buying like, I don't know, 5.9 billion a month or something. History repeats because human nature never changes. That's why. That's the real simple answer. What did the world say from? I don't know. We are too dumb in the grand scheme. Well, we have a corrupt human nature. I mean, it's just the nature of who we are. We can't escape the fact that we're corrupt, naturally corrupt. We lean towards evil. And the reasons we go wrong is because people through history, the Karl Marx, the Eugene Debs, the great social experimenters, all came to believe that we can overwrite human nature. That's their big mistake. And you can't. It's baked into the cake. So even the best intentioned philosophies, the Communist Manifesto, written with the best intention and to lift up the masses, becomes a device for hurting the most people. Because Karl Marx's big error was in assuming that people's nature could be changed. And it can't. Not everybody's happy with the same shit as the same bowl of gruel as the next guy. That's what makes capitalism so great, because there's always somebody that wants to get out there and take a chance and develop and fill the needs. Let's not forget that. And work for room and board with the price of living is too much. Well, we're it's all part. It's interesting that you say that, because it's part of a reconsolidation of, it's like you climb up the ladder and then you start to climb down the ladder, and then at a point you slip down the ladder. And then at a certain point you fall and you break your neck and you're dead. But as you're slowly coming back down the ladder from peak prosperity, which was probably 1966 in this nation, as you start to come down that ladder, you're going to revisit the same things that you saw when you were going up. So when you talk about housing, people can't afford certain things. Well, the only solution is that prices have to come down. Housing prices have to come down. Even then, with job losses in white collar and other areas, people start to move in. I did a video 3 months ago called The Return of Boarding Houses. It's going to happen. People are going to live in boarding house situations. You're going to move in, and you're going to get an option. You're going to move into a big house, maybe 5 or 6 bedrooms, something like that. One or two common bathrooms. They'll be kept clean, unless it's really floppy flop house. And you can either sign on for your meals or just take the room. For me, it would be ideal. I would freaking flip my lid if I could get into that situation. I love that, to be in a communal situation with tons of people. But a lot of people don't. They want to have their space. They want to have their individuality. They want to have their quiet. They want their life ordered the way that they want to make it. Yeah, all the best prayers for your brother there. Hey, Dr. Frankenstein. Yeah, $2,000 a month for a 1-bedroom. It's crazy. Hey, Christian. Nothing. That's it, Joe. Own nothing and be happy. But see, that's when you take that philosophy, which is a theological which is really a theology. Be simple, right? Like Jesus told the apostles, don't even take an extra pair of sandals. Don't worry about, just go out there, right? Knock on the door. If they don't treat you good, just shake the dust off your feet and say, bust them up, boys. We're out of here. You carry that over to philosophy, and you have people like Karl Marx who's like, yeah, we shouldn't own anything. And then they make it really miserable, because you know what happens? When they finally do get power, they become just like a ruling group with the privileged class and the everyday peon. Sorry, I got a piece of rice. So, the thing is about Baden-Württemberg, well, it would make him the 40th richest country. Yeah, I imagine the world ain't. Hey Sanzu, I imagine that his wealth will be diminished radically. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So the failure of Marxism is assuming that people like the idea of being satisfied with what everybody else has, and it's not built into human nature. You know, God, by his providential design, wouldn't set things up that people all have the same talents, we all have the same drive, we all have the same initiative. Oh, no. So that's why communism always fails, because it doesn't understand human nature whatsoever. And eventually people get rid of it. But you get so far away from it that people forget. They read it and go, man, Frankie, damn, man, I got this thing called the Communist Manifesto. Freaking Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels were geniuses, dude. Read this thing. Wow, can you imagine that? No more Richie Riches, and we own the factories. And, yeah, I just hope you're innovative, you know. Yeah, the paranoia. No, not capitalism. Capitalism has been bastardized through Keynesian economics, Christian. If we had pure capitalism, we wouldn't be in the situation that we are in. We would have never borrowed so much money, overstimulated our economy, overpriced everything in our economy, from food to housing. I've said it before, the reason housing and food are expensive because you're competing with tens of millions of people that the U.S. government is their check. And there's no checks and balances on how much they can spend. There's an apartment building that says a hotel in New York City that's a luxury apartment or a luxury hotel or whatever. It doesn't matter. Stick the immigrants in there, just send us the bill. Who cares? Right? Put up another housing place, make it Section 8 housing. Who cares? Right? These people will pay $2,000 a month. These people will get a housing voucher and pay $500 a month. What's up, Bastian? How you doing? Yeah, when the government has unlimited spending. So when people say capitalism failed, that's, oh no, I said democracy failed. Not capitalism. Right? Oh no. This is why representative governments can't last. Because eventually the people just vote themselves the least burden that they can have. The most from the treasury with the least cost. Balls of tortillas. Yes, I like that. Roll that out there. So, it's likely this could be the last election. Who knows? You have a lot of bad blood develop. You got a lot of radicalization. You have all these concentric rings of interest in what's going on in LA. All these people are very vested in it. I'm getting all these news alerts from Indivisible, the left-wing protest organization all day. Let's get ready to mass and march, and let's bust up the boys. LBM Well, that's what I'm saying, Lee. That's not the fault of capitalism. That's the fault of unrestrained government borrowing. It's the fault of people that have unrestrained desires. Now try taking that away from people. Well, how do you expect me to live if I don't have a social security check or if I don't have a disability check? Nobody's talking. Well, when they start shooting people, then what? Then you have martial law. And then you have bad blood begins to go into the bloodstream, and you have the poisoning of the bloodstream. That's why I said China didn't have to do anything except just sit back. They don't have to worry about anything. Just sit back and let it just roll. They just grab the popcorn, grab the chow mein, grab the egg drop soup, and just sit back. That's it. That's the whole wheelie dealy. They don't have to really lethally shoot people. They can, if you've ever been flashbanged or gassed, I haven't been. I heard a rubber bullet whiz about 1/8 of an inch from my ear in the George Floyd riots when I was covering him. It ain't a happy thing. One guy got shot in the nuts, and he ended up getting like $800,000 from the city of Santa Rosa. And I'm not saying I was sitting there like, oh man, why couldn't I have gotten shot in the sack or something? Thank you, Kitty. But now you have these concentric circles of interest around this whole situation. You have the radical elements of the Democrat Party that this is a great thing that happens. It boosts up the profile. The big beautiful bill is dead. You got senators running away from that like their pants are on fire. That's going to be a no-go. You have a long-term bond auction on Thursday in the nation. God knows what that'll be. Who's going to want to have that debt? Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the Peking Duck. Well, before we cheer for my boy over in China, my boy's got a full plate himself there. He's got a very unstable situation. He's got an unstable situation. They're not 1.2 billion people anymore, I guarantee you that. He's got 800 million people. He's got young college graduates that have no job prospects whatsoever. He's got a culture that just refuses to spend money at home. They put I've seen him in China. Every little dollar, put that into the little Nanyang Commercial Bank, Shanghai Industrial and Commerce Bank. There's grandma gone down the street. You think she's going to go out and buy a color TV or a new mahjong set? Hell no. I'm just saying. So they're having what's called the paradox of thrift, which is the more that things contract over there, the more people are inclined to hold on to their money, which accelerates the contraction and causes more people to hold on to their money. And you get that vortex of downward activity it's why it's called the paradox of thrift. The more you save, the worse things get over there. Well, the Chinese are very envious of the Swiss and German cultures in particular. My father-in-law was crazy about French culture. He and his friends would always give each other bottles of Hennessy and XO, and it was the best thing you could pick up at the duty free coming home was a bottle of XO and give it to somebody. They love that stuff. I barely got on the ground in Shanghai, and my father-in-law is sitting at a outdoor seating at a cafe in Shanghai, enjoying a Parisian bakery there. I'm like, what the? Oh my God. Shit, we got the corkster here. God help us. I bought a new TV yesterday. That's good. But there are people have been conditioned through thousands of years of hardship. Every time stuff starts to get good, they get a little nervous. Oh shit, when are we going back into the tank again? It's like, okay, you're going to be dunked again. Oh, geez, I knew it. Here we go. Corky's new TV. In other words, the average person on the street doesn't trust the Chinese government. They've seen banks fail because of bad real estate loans, and they had to send tanks in front of the bank to keep people from pulling the doors off and destroying the place. All right, those people care about their money as much as you do. So I would say they definitely got their own issues. They're another one that's propping up markets and stuff by purchasing their own lemonade at their own lemonade stand and saying they had a great day because they bought $100 worth of their own lemonade. That was a good day. How you doing, Jennifer? What's going on? So I would say that this has been a slow roll-off economy, not a, I'm quite sure the plunge will be coming, but right now we're just slowly easing down the ladder on the other side. Slowly, just still got firm footing, just making our way down, trying to get used to the new view. Oh, this is weird. Didn't I see this before? Yeah, I think I saw this in 1978. Yeah, okay, well, we're back there again. 6 today, a good day. There we go. Hey, Donna, how are you? I never had so many people check in as today. It's like, oh, yeah, the shit you've been talking about, I'm seeing it now on TV. And I'm like, yeah. When you start to see a union of states begin to be under pressure and start to be pried apart. And you know what, the legal system, the judicial system, man, they can't even begin to keep up with the whole shit going on. It's like they're being buried in emergency. How can you even have time to contemplate the legal ramifications, much less research the case law precedents for what these people are asking for? It's fly by the seat of your pants. There were more of the people, politicians, slow down the process. What happens in Washington? No, I swallowed a piece of rice went down the wrong way. And plus, anytime I use cream or dairy products, it always kind of gums me up a little bit. I got some creamer in my coffee. LA is in chaos, not because of the illegal immigrants. I would suggest that there's not as many of them out there as you think. Chaos in LA is due to the entrenched concentric circles that have an interest in perpetuating this immigration idea of open borders, and that would be NGOs. I'm getting all these alerts from Indivisible, the National Organization of Protest, Code Pink, Ladies in Black, all these organizations. Dust off your shoes, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost like they're salivating out of the old Berkeley days. I'm lying overhead. So this is what happens when you try to do a radical remake of a nation. It's going to result in a lot of chaos. Will it ever be pulled off? It's a long shot. It's a long shot. I personally think that people can't sustain it. Putting up with they're shooting tear gas like it's a water gun. Oh, the Korean rooftop. Remember that? I did a video on Koreatown. I called it the day the American dream died. Guy was on the roof of the market at Olympic Boulevard there. I got the whole video. Started on Florence Avenue with Rodney King and worked all the way up Western Avenue, all the way into Koreatown. Nightfall is here. Ooh, wah, wah, wah. Ooh, wah, wah, wah. Ooh, wah, 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 wah. Ooh, wah, do 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 do. Do 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 do. Echo. Do do do. Oh, when the tanks come rolling in. Let me tell you, Christian, it'll be spreading everywhere over Western Europe too. Will not be immune. The impacts will be felt far and wide. Even now, the luxury end of cruise markets, the luxury end of all these. They're complaining now that all of these luxury stores that they put into these casinos in Vegas, nobody's buying the Yves Saint Laurent, the Pradas, the Michael Kors, the Birkin bags. I don't know, Matthew. I would say never get your hopes pinned too much on the Cowboys. Remember, Dak Prescott was supposed to be the second coming of Troy Aikman. It's like I never set my eyes on the Ravens winning a championship because they just can't get it over the top in the playoffs. Why? Because they don't have the coaching for it. They could have picked up Pete Carroll and had guaranteed be there. Bill Belichick guaranteed be there. John Fisher Stadium in Vegas is dead. Yeah, I'm not sure, Noah. But I know people are starting to... I'm looking at... yeah, but I've heard it every year. This is the boys' year. I don't know. I've just heard it year after year. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're used to disappointment. Anyway, Christian, I'm just saying the ripple effect is going to be worldwide. So there's really going to be no place to hide. We had who was that guy last night that was in here? USA boy or something. He was talking about how he lives on that. What was he talking about, Dr. Frankenstein? What was he saying? I usually put my time and effort into college football. It's an easier game for me to beat in sports betting. The pro game is too tight. You're going to bet pro, just take the worst line that's offered and fade it. That's it. If this team's going to lose by 24 points, take the team and the points, all right? Oh, I don't know. Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. If you were counting NFL championships all the way back, Baltimore 58, 59, 70, 2012, 2020. That's why we're Johnny Unitas. Anyway, so this is what's going on with what's going on in LA right now. And it's a very tough situation because now anybody in the area, in San Diego, Irvine, Anaheim, Santa Ana, Newark, up in Santa Clarita, up in the valleys in San Fernando Valley, they're all going to be trying to make their way down to join the party. They're all going to be making their way down to join up with the action. Anybody that's got a bone to pick, and they're just going to, defy people to get them out of there. And I predict some pain in the future. I predict some pain. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. So even if you quell this one, you can imagine the size of protests coming around the nation coming up. That's why I got my press shit ready to go. Rest up for the spring and be ready to go. Yes, California is a testing ground for the because we have the largest number of undocumented illegal aliens in America. Something on the order of 1 million, they think, down in the LA area. That has if you were to get all those people removed, that has a dramatic impact on the economy. And not in a way you might think. You might think, well, it'll bring housing prices down, which it will. But the knock-on and reverse effect of that is it also brings the economy down, because everything is like one domino hitting another domino. You start removing dominoes and you start to have economic dislocations there. Yeah, it's a huge drain. Send them all to China. Well, Merlin, the reality is China doesn't... China's philosophy is you're either Chinese or you're not. That's it. Right? China for Chinese people, and that's the way it goes. So, it's called the sovereignty of a nation. They can have who in the hell want. And when you have a totally homogeneous population like that, everybody's the same. That's a double-edged sword. It's great for keeping harmony in the civilization. It's terrible for innovation and creativity. Terrible. Our strength here used to be controlled immigration that brought people in, all their ideas, all their hopes and dreams. Now we just bring in people that can't get along at home, or mommy needs a leg operation or whatever, and, or people that just look as this as opportunistic to be thieves and criminals, and just like a feeding trough. Give them a salute like an enlistment army. I'm not sure if you're doing the army any favors in that regard. I always said when people were encouraged to leave these nations, which they were under the Biden administration, the word went out. It's open season. Come on up. Just whatever you can do to get grandma up here, to get her surgeries or whatever. It's all going to be taken care of. Just get into California. Downside of them, and also the ones that came in, there's gangs and they bother me and they're a threat to me. Well, how is you coming here helping going to clean up that? How is that going to help straighten out your country? It's not. Best thing is for you to go back and start a revolutionary movement. Since you're all gung-ho on it, fix your own country. Hey, Shemay, be covering the Pride Festival. Yeah, good W. Good. Hey, CW, how are you? Ours was very early. I live in Eggy Egg. It's not in chaos and new sensations. Yeah, well, it's growing, Eggy Egg. I know your work ethic. They're looking for handouts. Well, there's no love between Trump and Newsom. You saw that after the LA fires. California is absolutely reeling now with job losses, and the industries that drove California and powered the United States, entertainment industry, high tech industry. A little AI goes a long way, and cities like San Francisco are just spiraling. Oakland, you have port traffic down, less trucking, less crap coming in from Asia, less stuff going out. Yeah, it's a recipe for slowing down. No, I don't collect sports cards. Very good, CW. There's always been a California got away from its roots, as I understand it, and reading a lot of books about the 1840s and the great parties that came overland and risked life and limb to have some part of a dream. Many died at the hands of Indians. Many died because of poorly prepared, froze to death, died of thirst, other things, just to get the hell out of here. It created a certain very strong ethic. Those with get up and go got up and went. But it became too rich. It started spending too much money. And with all those riches, people in legislatures, social thinkers started to get the idea. This train is not bringing everybody along with it. Our train is not coupled to the poor people. We need to bring them along. We need to invest in them. And then once you get that sort of, I want to call it guilting people, but it's also a duty to take care of those. But you don't have time to really segregate who's the real one that wants to get out of that situation or who's the one that just wants to coast in it. So you end up giving it to everybody. And that starts the enabling culture that begins. And over 2, 3, 4, 5 generations, you just disincentivize people from thinking that they have to take care of themselves. That's the tragedy of California. Every time a back tax ballot goes up, they push it. Every time the city of Santa Rosa says we need more money for fire and protections. And I'm like, no, you just over-respond to incidents. It used to be you would have one policeman came in, then it was 2, now it's 5, and then you have to have an ambulance on scene. You have a fire or a car fire. I need to now have 15 pieces of fire equipment on site, and ambulances, and fire chief and marshal, people to control traffic. It's just, oh man. Then they can come before the city and say, see how stressed out we are? It's a game. It's a game. Ready to ship to all those 6-figure programming jobs done because AI can do it. How you doing? And what's going on in LA? What do you think? I think it's the leading edge of what's coming for the nation. I don't think this nation can endure the stress of a radical remake. If I don't miss my guess, I'm not even sure. I'll just put it out there. I don't even know if this president will survive his presidency or not. I mean, I say that with some idea that it's historically unprecedented, but things can reach a point in a representative democracy where people start thinking about their own ass. Tennessee and Maryland and Pennsylvania and Ohio and Arizona, they start thinking to themselves, geez, I'm sensing a wind shift here. We better start to separate ourselves from this dude. I can already sense that in Congress with this big beautiful bill ain't going anywhere. That thing's dead. Right? So I'm just saying we're 6 months into this presidency. This is going to last for 4 years? I don't think so. You start to have forces allied on the other side, people like Elon Musk and money interests rallying to this like bees to honey. This is a great situation. Melania is the smartest one in the room. Would not be surprised something tragic. Well, I'm not even talking about something tragic. I'm just talking about people saying, this is just too much. This is just tearing our nation apart. Yeah, we want these people out, but, we have so many concentric rings of vested interest in these. Every NGO, from Catholic charities right on down the line, they're all vested in. They make a lot of money off of this misery of immigrants and things. They're all special interest. Food banks, everything. Everybody's got a piece of the pie. Sydney Cat, how are you? Please run. Watch you quietly. Oh, well, aren't you sweet, honey? Thank you. I don't see hope for American running for politics. I hate to say that. This country just can't. It's been pulled too far away from financial reality. It's too many standard deviations away to allow for a correction. It just snaps. Yes, Sydney Cat's always been very nice. It's nice to see you. I mean, what would I propose? Raise taxes? You can't raise taxes, you're not going to get elected. I rest my case. Eat the rich. They're all got their secondary. They all got their passports now. They're out of here. Canadian elections being invested. Gun general. Oh wow, Corkster. A new election. Wow. It's kind of wild. You have certain areas of the world, like the U.S. went right, Canada goes left, or stays left, or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of wild. So you have a lot of people that have very entrenched interest in financially in what's happening right now. And they've been on the gravy train. School systems have been on the gravy train. I've seen it here in Santa Rosa. We don't have the student population anymore. And the big fear is all the illegals that are here, the 30, 40,000, they just take their kids and they don't put them in school anymore. And the school only makes money, only gets revenue if the child is in the seat. That's it. Yeah, that's right. Greed and corruption know no boundaries, no natural boundaries. Correct. This is why I called it sort of this is the checkmate moment. This is it. It's unraveling now. You talk about bringing manufacturing back. If there's no demand, then it's pointless. It's another attempt to hold up a false standard of living that naturally wouldn't exist. It's like telling the New York Yankees, you know what? We're going to just start playing against single A ball teams. Imagine after a certain number of years how weak and lousy they become in fundamentals in playing the game of baseball. And they can never step up to a major league level again without a huge amount of pain. That's all the tariffs did. Well, as somebody once said, Corky, the capacity for human corruption is unlimited. I don't know, I think, did this lady just put a cigarette into the mailbox? No, I don't know what the hell it is. She just dropped some junk on the ground and just walks away. So how is this going to play out? It is kind of sad, John. And make sure you're subscribed, guys, if you're not subscribed, because not only do I cover these protests, we've been talking about this coming for the last 2 years. This more obvious sign of a fracturing of America, a fracturing of the economy. I mean, do you think it's conducive to be able to sell bonds or to be able to raise debt when you have this kind of social unrest going on? And your biggest buyers decide to stay away from the market? No, I don't have to head down to LA because it'll be coming up here. I don't have to worry about it. This is one I don't have to chase. Once I finish writing my book, which is coming along great, I've taken it from 1,100 pages to 638 pages or something. It's coming along great. Then I have a lot of free time to hit the road and chase down all this stuff. But June is a give-up month. June is concentrating on finishing and doing the things that need to be done. I already knew people were generally over dumber than I thought. The border and immigration is over centuries has been problematic. Eraserhead, that's very true. I'm not exactly sure which date that it was decided that we no longer had to have controlled immigration. I guess there were too many special interests that benefited from cheap labor. I know the construction industry did here. You can't go onto any construction site here without hearing Spanish is the predominant language spoken. I believe it's significant, and it's another reason why our standard of living has been held down so remarkably. Because labor can't get a leg up on capital and land. Americans set that policy, yeah. Yeah, France is having a problem. Any place that had a colonial, France worked great when it was just French people, but when you start opening it up and all these people from the colonial empire start coming, they have different faiths, they have different values. You try to accommodate people, but at the end of the day, you see that people just refuse to integrate anymore. They set up separate nations within nations. I mean, same thing would happen in this nation in the 1920s, 30s. 1910, people would get here from Italy. If they heard their kids speaking Italian, they'd smack them in the head. They would want to integrate so quickly into society because they saw that that's where the benefits were, not by staying a separate organization. We used to celebrate that unity. Now we separate division. Like, what makes us different? Not what makes us the same, but what makes it different. And what is that a sign of? That's a sign of the influence of the demonic on society. And I don't say that casually. I say that factually, that if you look up the word diabolic, it means to forcefully tear apart. Thank you, Corky. Thank you. Thank you. There's the Corkster. Thank you, Corkster. An ice cream cone in Santa Rosa. Why everybody wants to see me eating ice cream all the time? I don't know. That's really good. Let's give Corky a thumbs up. Thank you, Corky. What a great supporter of the channel, Corky. Corky's like, let's get out there on that protest line. Woo! Let's hit that thumbs up for Corky. Thank you, Corky. I got this thing. Yeah, Corky's nice. I want to see you go to Foster's and get another $6. Unprofessional. That was terrible. That was terrible. There's been riots all over. They'll be coming your way. Don't worry, USA. They'll find you. There's no place to hide in the world. The interconnectedness of man. Embrace the centrifugal entropy. It does not mean that we won't have some good times ahead. It's just a generalized trend will be towards disorder. And that'll be driven by monetary shortages and things. The rationing of money. Once a black hole, yeah, once the black hole gets a hold of you, it's over. That's it, and that's it's a perfect definition for the demonic. Once you turn your back on God, it's the beginning of the end. Once you start living life on your own terms, then it starts busting up society. It's an alley here. I took the dog and got there all better, and there it is, my fancy bed. Thank you, Corky. Oh, man. I've had a great Sunday, too. My beautiful weather, allergies are winding down. My book is really, radical editing has really been a good thing. I now got enough for another book. I said, what the hell, I'll just write another one if anybody cares about it. My, oh my, it's a beautiful thing. Do. Wondering what kind of pupper I would get tonight. Type of Italian. We need, maybe a really good, new dog. And, yeah, I'm not going to that Foster freeze again. I wonder if Jeff Bezos got married. No, it's not out yet, Dixie. It's not out yet. It's in the works. We're just, we're knocking off the rough edges, getting ready to do a final polishing. I'm liking it. Tighten it up dramatically. So it's a much more streamlined and to the point, punchy, which it needs to be. Not that it'll ever be published, I'm just saying. At least in a major house. But I've done well with self-publishing. And I don't really care about the money. Any money I make will be donated. my voice. Hey, Ma Rich. They don't like my Baltimore accent. We'll let Shimei do it. Shimei's got a nice voice. Chapter 7. Rhonda de Blonda, how you doing, honey? What's going on, Rhonda? Happy Sunday to you. Yeah, for donation. Yeah. Well, it's going to be done at the end of June, one way or another. Even if I have to take a week off at the end of June just to sit my hiney in the library. I have so many footnotes, so many, such a bibliography and everything. I guess it's more like more what you call like a PhD sort of dissertation, I guess, at the end of it all. But you can't put stuff out there unless you have proof of it. It's like when Buttercup Baby was here and said, no, we didn't have prayer in public school. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Just not when you were a kid. Let's see. Let's see. I want to come to have a coffee with you. Sunny California. Yes, Roxy. Yes, Roxy. Oh, brother, that's a good movie. What have I been up to? I've been enjoying life. I've been loving life. Tomorrow I got a meeting at the church to put central air into another building. I'm meeting with the electrician tomorrow. I got to get my next allergy shot, which has been fantastic for this season. It's been tremendous. It really, even 3 months, it provided great benefit to me, which is unbelievable. Which is good. Lilo Stitch. Best movie on now is the Christian. Hey, Angus Kisses, how are you today? Good to see you. So, it's very good. They're having I couldn't really concentrate today. They're having a huge mariachi party across the street. It's been crazy. They've had a band. Boom, 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 boom. So will they get the LA thing under control? They will, but it'll be a very costly exercise. With very long tail implications going into summer. It just gasses up some of these other cities and groups to really start hitting the streets now. And plus, when it gets nice and hot and sweaty in some of these cities, it's conducive to busting up the boys out there. I'm showing my, but who cares? I got a prayer. That's right. That was it, Judy. That was it. Johnny Unitas, that's it. Unitas fades back in the pocket, sets up, throws. He's unleashed the bomb. There's Lenny Moore, touchdown. Dun, 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 do, 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 do. Today, yes, it is Pentecost Sunday. Yes, it is. That's why I was wearing red yesterday. I cooked the wrong rice. I was going to make sushi tonight. I'm like, oh man, I cooked the wrong rice. Yeah, there's a very big ego there, and there's not there's not a lot of understanding of psychology of people on the part of the president. Everything looks too, in other words, nothing looks nuanced to him. It's very black and white. And that's not the way life is these days. It's very nuanced. Before you make a move, you got to think of the counter move. Now that he inserted himself into California, now the governor gets a free roll and just, okay, man, I'm rolling the dice now. I'm free rolling, baby, on the house money. If he didn't do that, imagine all the pressure would have been on Newsom. But it's this failure to be nuanced about things. Somebody said, "Where's Melania?" She's right where she wants to be, man. You gotta like that. Like, not this time around. I'll be over here while you're over there. Enjoy. I'm not running that road show again. No, Duke. I'm just covering them from here right now. I'm not driving 420 miles. This is that's like a little cocktail platter down there. There'll be plenty of stuff to cover here. They'll be bringing back the sideshows and the tear gas and the rubber bullets, and I don't have to go far. You know what I mean? I don't have to move too far out of my seat here because I'm in the number two bluest, but Marin County and Sonoma County are the bluest of the blue of the blue. So it doesn't take much for the Berkeley boys from the 60s to get moving again. Doesn't take much. Doesn't take much. They bust up your boy. So now think about that all the pressure's on the Trump side now. It's not on Newsom anymore. He can just stand back and say, okay, it's your show, bro. I love the way so much of this stuff plays out on social media too, on X and Truth Me. This is crazy. This is the way that professional people talk to each other. Oh, man. What about the Love Boat? What about it? Jeff Bezos is on his Love Boat. Having his big wedding. Hey Magda, what's going on? I would just said earlier, I just speak my mind. I don't, I'm a very middle of the road person. I've always been very middle of the road, which is why we maintain people here from both sides of the political equation. But the way things are going now, it's not going to be long till some people are starting to run for cover in Senate and the House. If it gets bad enough, they're going to bust up your boy and send him packing. Yes, I remember Kent State. Absolutely. Absolutely. But if I was the president, I would have just left it in the governor's hands, which probably he wouldn't be capable of handling. Good evening. Tonight in Los Angeles, martial law has been imposed. Anyone caught on the streets without a pass or a right to be there will be subject to immediate arrest. Should there be any looting, they will be shot on sight. And that's the way it is. June 9th, 2025. I'm Walter Cronkite in New York. From all of us at CBS News, good night. What's the article? Thank you for the thing about Jeffrey, about Ina Magna. Thank you for sending that to me. Well, it's not here yet. I mean, it's still pull a rabbit out her hat. I'm just saying that you got to understand there's other forces besides the president that are politically under pressure right now. You know, this big, beautiful bill, you can kiss that thing goodbye. They probably told the Senate leader, don't even bring that thing to the floor. Just let it die. Oh, they did that for COVID. They pulled you over one night driving. I never stayed under lockdown. I traveled everywhere. I had a hard time getting something to eat, but I was between LA, Vegas, and here. 500 Marines prepared to deploy. Send in them and let them bust them up, boys. Camp Pendleton. Well, you're smart. Why would you want to be down there unless you're dumb like me? But you don't have to go anywhere. I mean, this is going to be a feature of the next 3-4 years and beyond. People will be on their hands and knees begging for communism. Make it stop. Make it stop. Just make it stop. Stop. I can't take it anymore. Let's see. Yeah, it was terrible, Alan. But we'll see what happens. I cooked up this rice by accident, so I got to eat that. I cooked the wrong kind of rice. So I'm going to get a little bit of the ham. I'm going to make some soup tomorrow. Yeah, they'll be lining up to purchase our bonds this week, won't they? I guess we'll be buying our own lemonade at our lemonade stand. Yeah, I cooked the wrong rice. I cooked basmati rice. I wasn't even thinking. I meant to cook the Japanese sticky rice, but I'm not going to remake a whole nother thing of rice. What's up, Deborah? Thank you for the dono last night. Deborah was kind enough to send a donation. Thank you, Deborah. That was very sweet of you. Thank you. There's people out here that would love to have a radical nation. Start tossing bombs into banks and all this crazy shit. Just when they detonated that huge bomb outside of JP Morgan Bank in New York. I can't remember how many people were killed on that. Black Hawks are circling. Well, people like a good show, and that's the way it is. All markets are in it. You wonder why gold and silver went up. It should be apparent to you now, all these years later, why they went up. How you doing, optimistic? Because they're the ultimate sign of destabilization. It's got nothing to do with inflation. It's got to do with instability. It's your ultimate safe haven. So ask yourself year after year, why is this going up? Why? Why so relentlessly? No pullback, no nothing. Something weird. Let's see. They would love the yes. That's They would. Yeah, the fractioning of society. That's exactly correct. What would be? Well, yeah, but people will go for the gold when they got nothing else. Ma, Rich. When people start turning down dollars, and yeah, you know what? I don't think we're going to take them anymore. Haven't you got any Swiss francs or Canadian dollars or Mexico pesos? You got a little bit of gold, little oro, a little bit of plata, a little bit of silver. Yeah, eggs. Well, the bottom's falling out of that. Be buried in eggs. Do people that protest have a job? Well, remember it's Sunday. But, if they're blocking highways for rush hour tomorrow, you're going to have some commuters just hit the gas pedal. It's like a free shot. I don't think it's gone for that much. That would be 48. It's gone for about 22 times face. Yay, I'm charging. Yay. There's actually 90% silver in pre-1965 quarters, dimes, and half dollars and silver dollars. Waymo Autobot. Yeah, all of them in this country. Only the 1970 half dollar, like 40% silver, was some of the bicentennials. I'm talking about regular quarters, dimes, half dollars in general circulation. Pre 1965 were all 90% silver. Yeah, Mercury dimes are a nice design. Because police are a sign of authority. And right now it's seen as a force of government. You can look at the side of the Eisenhower and tell the 40% silver from from the copper nickel. Man, what's the temperature? Well, it's still nice, 71. Just turn them on their edge, you can see it. Yeah, just look at the color on the edge. You can look at a roll of quarters, immediately tell if you have a silver one in there. They're going to all be looking for Corky's house up there with the silver. Yeah, old silver dollars. They're coming to look for Corky. Corky, we want your silver. You won't get it out of my hands. Yeah, they have a ring to them. You can drop them on a table and they'll have silver has a ring to it. What a relaxing night. So I guess I'll just cut up a little bit of the ham and have it with the rice. Which will be alright. I like basmati rice, but I just really kind of wanted a little bit of sushi. I think tomorrow night we're going to go out to Sebastopol. Yeah, I like basmati rice. It's just nice and fluffy. Silver's on. Yeah, silver's an amazing product. I love basmati. It's just that silver's going to be playing catch up here. Because silver's a lot more useful in everyday commerce if you have to use it. It's easier to pull out a silver dime than to pull out a $20 gold piece and ask for change. Well, I can only give you US dollars. Oh man, just forget it. Well, I don't have gold to make change. Most people come and just have silver. Now get out of my store. Men's has entered the chat. That's good, Deborah. I love that. Yeah, I use the Nisiki rice when I want to make sushi, but I just grabbed for the wrong bag today. So it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, I'm going to use it. Yeah, well, it's going to be nighttime in LA. It's going to be an interesting night. Remember, the greatest police force in civilization is people policing themselves. When that starts to go, there's no policing force on earth that can contain it. It's like they use for sushi. It's a very small grain rice, sticky. It's just silver's going to find its traditional use as a store of value now in commerce, I believe. I can take 2 silver dimes and buy 2 gallons of gas in most of the United States. I can't do that with 20 cents of 2 modern dimes. They laugh at me. I've done many videos over the years demonstrating how purchasing power is maintained. They're like, well, why does it go? It goes up. No, it's staying still. It's everything else that's moving in relation to it. You have to look at it a different way. I don't understand. Okay, well, come back in a year or two. Yeah, it's going to be a long night tonight. So I think I'm going to just head back. I think I'm going to check it out myself on TV tonight. I'm probably going to just do a short stream tonight. And then tomorrow we'll gear up for our adventure. So I'm going to say good night to everybody now. And I want to do some more work. I got to get ready for a meeting with an electrician tomorrow. I got to get the paperwork ready for that. So for my moderators, thank you very much, guys. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do so. It is appreciated. Thank you, Shimei. Thank you, Ronnie. And I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.